Why do we want to pay attention to our breath? It's because we use our breathing in our day to day, like whether you are working, you're breathing. And if you're not breathing effectively, it can change your posture, it can change your concentration, it can change a lot of things for you for the negative. So that's one reason. The second reason is when you work out and when you are doing something to become fit. If you are not breathing the way that you should be, you're not optimizing your workouts. Okay, so you're not providing enough circulation to everywhere. You're constricting everything in one place. You're not allowing proper movement of muscles and blood if you're not breathing the right way. I'm Dr. Rajni Patel. I'm a spine and sports physiotherapist. I have about 19 years of experience. My clinic is in Shivaji Park and also in Vile Parle, Mumbai. Let's talk about what exactly is breathing, what are the structures that are involved in breathing, and why. Why do we need to breathe? Why do we need to be aware of breathing? So, our cardiovascular system, which is our heart and lungs, are the ones that are facilitating the breathing process. Okay, now what you don't know is the breathing muscles that are associated with the regular breathing. There are many muscles that are involved in breathing. The most important primary muscle of breathing is the diaphragm muscle. Now, if you don't know what that is, the diaphragm muscle is a muscle that sits like that, like a dome, just under our rib cage. So you know where our rib cage ends. So it's like a dome shape here, right? So when we breathe, it's supposed to rise and fall, rise and fall. So that's our primary muscle. Now, when the diaphragm doesn't function, along with other muscles, there are a lot of smaller muscles, intercostal muscles that go around the rib cage. Your platysma, this muscle over here. There are a lot of secondary muscles, but the primary muscle is the diaphragm muscle. You're not able to use that fully, or you're not consciously using them, then you're using the smaller muscles. And this is one fact that almost everybody is doing very shallow chest breathing. Not everyone is using diaphragmatic breathing. And I'm going to take you through those exercises. So you'll do them with me and you'll understand whether you are doing chest breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. Stress is a huge factor on breathing, right? You know that your breathing clams up when you are under stress and you do shallow breathing. So what happens with that is if your diaphragm is not working well, your chest muscles start to work. And if you have seen, you may have seen it in movies, you may have seen people around you do this kind of breathing, is that this muscle so what just happened? This is an accessory muscle. This is a muscle that's not generally supposed to work, but when your diaphragm is not working well and your secondary muscles of your chest are not working well, then this muscle takes over. Okay, that's the last option for the body to continue to breathe. Okay, these are the muscles that support breathing. So this is a muscular pattern of breathing. Now, of all times, I think it's very important for us to keep our breathing system alert and active. So I would recommend that whatever exercises you learn here today or you have learned in the past, try to do them 5 or 10 minutes every day so that it's functioning normally, so that even if you do get a physical impairment, your breathing should be optimum, so that the muscles of breathing know exactly what to do and they work well. Breathing exercises are simple to do. It takes about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you'll have completed the whole set that I'm about to teach you. And I'll teach you different ways when you are working out and regular breathing, and also if you are stressed or in anxiety. Let's talk about the two types of breathing. One is chest breathing and one is diaphragmatic breathing. What is chest breathing? What is diaphragmatic breathing? Chest breathing is basically where the one that you are doing right now as we speak. We should ideally be using our abdominal, our diaphragm to breathe, and which means that your tummy should be going in and out more than your chest comes in and out. But unfortunately, we all have started doing very shallow chest breathing. What is chest breathing? Is when you breathe, your chest is going to rise and fall. Okay. This is a shallow type of breathing. This uses our sympathetic nervous system, which is a flight or fight mechanism of our body. What that means is when we are in a situation where we feel threatened as human beings, we have a response of fight or flight. We either fight it out or we run away from the situation. Okay, you know about this. That is your sympathetic nervous system. This nervous system makes your breathing shallow because it has to prep your body to run or to fight. So it gives you an adrenaline kick. But also what that does is it makes you stressed. Okay, it's an anxious state. So imagine if you are always doing chest breathing, you are always in a low threshold maybe, but a low threshold of stress and anxiety. The same thing when we do diaphragmatic breathing, which is abdominal breathing. This kicks in our parasympathetic system, which is a system that calms everything down. The blood pressure goes down. It brings everything down to homeostasis or a more balanced way of life. So let's quickly understand what type of breathing you are doing. So you're just going to do some breathing. So just again, posture very important. So make sure you're sitting nice and tall. And I want you to now do some breathing. So you're going to keep one hand on your chest and one hand on your tummy. And now just do some regular breathing, not deep breathing, just regular breathing, and see what is working. Is it this primarily, or is it this primarily, or is it both equally? That doesn't necessarily happen. So let's do abdominal breathing first, and then I'll show you chest breathing. So you're going to place your hand on your tummy. And when you breathe in through your nose, breathe in through your nose and push all the air into your tummy. So your tummy should come out. And then when you breathe out, you're going to push all the air from your tummy out from the nose. Okay, so let's do chest breathing. So the problem with chest breathing also is that it's shallow in the way that we are all sitting slouched and we are expanding our lungs itna sa and it goes back, itna sa and it goes back. So the lungs don't fully expand and they don't fully exhale out, which means that all these air pockets get stayed in. Practice deep breathing using your chest muscles. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to place your hands here and you're going to do some chest breathing. So this is ulta of diaphragmatic breathing. We're just doing deep breathing now. Okay, so it's just another exercise for breathing that you're doing. So just place your hands here. Fill your lungs with air this time. Okay, and then do like a little bit of deep breathing. So as much of the lungs as you can fill in and then exhale all the air out from the chest. And then feel that your ribcage is coming out and in. Just experience that a little bit. The second one we want to do is you want to feel the expansion, lateral expansion. So you can either place your hands like that or you can place your hands like that. Okay, but on the ribcage. Like that, and then breathe again. And this time what you want to feel is expansion in and out like that. Now let's talk about workouts and then I'll talk about running. When you do workouts, the tendency is for us to do more shallow breathing. You know that, right? So what you want to do is to do diaphragmatic breathing. Why? When we do diaphragmatic breathing, our abdominal muscles also contract. So whether you are doing lifts, or whether you're doing shoulder workouts, whether you're doing leg workouts, it's important that your abdominal muscles are braced in. And by bracing, I mean an isometric contraction, right? All the muscles are contracted. And that will come from diaphragmatic breathing. If you are doing diaphragmatic breathing, remember when you exhale out, all your muscles anyway tightened up. When you're lifting weights, when you're doing functional training, when you're doing Zumba, when you're doing any kind of exercise that you are doing. So use abdominal breathing to your advantage because it will help give you performance so much better, but it will also protect your spine. It will protect your lower back from any injuries. Focused on breathing, it will make sure that you're not breathing, holding your breath. It's very easy for people when they are doing workouts to hold their breath. Okay. And this holding of breath actually has caused hernias. It has caused muscle spasms around the back and the abdomen and upper back. All kinds of muscle spasms happen. So both of these can be protected. Also, when you are working out or when you are running, if you are focused on your breathing, it can prevent side stitches from happening. You know those cramps that you get in your tummy, like on one side you'll get a cramp. Those also will get prevented if you are doing diaphragmatic breathing to begin with before your workout as a warm-up, but also during your workout if you're focused on that. One important thing when you are working out, when you're doing exercises, whatever you are doing, when you breathe, you need to be doing exhalation while exerting. Okay, what does that mean? When you are putting some pressure, when you are exerting. So if I'm lifting a weight with my hand, when I'm exerting, when my muscles are moving, that's when I need to breathe out. Okay, so make sure that you are doing that. There is a lot of research that has been done on the exact running pattern, breathing pattern that needs to happen. There is no right or wrong answer. However, more studies have pointed to 2:2, which means that for 2 steps of running, you will do 1 inhalation, and for 2 steps of running, you will do 1 exhalation. Okay, so that is a breathing pattern that has shown to give us optimum cardiovascular breathing pattern. Now, does that work for everybody? I don't think so, because I know breathing people who do 1:2. Some people do different variations of that. Some people say, no, I'm going to do all nose, mouth breathing. Different things work for different people. Okay, but if I have to look at research, most of them have said that the breathing pattern for running that is more, beneficial rather, is to do a 2:2. Now, also a lot of research to see whether nose breathing करना चाहिए running करते वक्त या mouth breathing करना चाहिए. इसमें भी there is no consensus that has come, but a lot of studies have said that it's slightly easier to breathe through the mouth when you are running. Okay, now the only disadvantage of that is that when the reason why we breathe in through the nose is because our nose is made to purify the air as it goes in, which filter is not there when we breathe in and out through our mouth. However, when you are doing exercise, it is more difficult to breathe in and out through the nose. It's easier to do it through the mouth. So maybe when you're first starting out, or if you're getting really exerted, then you can do mouth breathing. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing mouth breathing, but then come back to diaphragmatic breathing and do nose breathing intermittently. At least come back to that. Don't continuously do mouth breathing if that's possible. So when you are running, you can try to use the 2:2. You can try to do mouth breathing in combination with nose breathing and see whether that works out. So for runners or for really any exertion, if you are able to talk, so when we are talking, we are using our nose, we are using our mouth, we are using both modalities to breathe in and out, right? And we use primarily our diaphragm when we are talking. And hence they say that if you are not sure whether my breathing pattern is right or not, talk a little bit. So when you are talking, the minute you start to talk, your breathing will get streamlined. And to talk when you are running, then you are absolutely fine on the cardiovascular scale. But if you are finding it difficult to talk and sustain, so you might be able to say a little bit, but you will not be able to sustain it. If you're able to sustain that, then you know that the breathing pattern is correct, you're fine. So that's one thing that we use. Also, when you are working out, what you can do if you're not aware, am I doing the right breathing or not, you can use this trick. So count every time with every rep, just count out loud. That just makes sure that your abdominal muscles are working and you're also breathing well. You're not holding your breath. So if you get anxious, if you have asthma, if you have bronchitis, things like this, there are a couple of breathing techniques that help calm everything down. Okay, so one was the chest breathing that I showed you, right? I showed you this one and I showed you this one. So both of these breathing, it will ensure that your chest muscles are doing. You can do your abdominal breathing also. But when you get in distress, when you feel like you're not able to breathe, when you're getting breathless, that's when pursed lip breathing works the best. Now let me explain what that is. Pursed lip breathing basically means that you are breathing in through the nose, but when you breathe out, you purse your lips and then you blow out like a whistle. So it basically looks like this. The minute I do pursed lip breathing, immediately my diaphragmatic and my abdominal muscles kick in. And that's why it's immediately going to calm me down. It's going to reverse the pattern of my anxiety state for asthma, for bronchitis, whatever it is. Another way of breathing to quickly calm yourself down is to do balloon breathing or straw breathing. So what you want to do is, see, balloon, if you have balloons lying around, you can use that. But straw, I feel a lot of people have straws at home. So what you want to do is breathe in through the nose, but when you breathe out, you blow out through the straw and you breathe out for a longer time. So very deep breath and then blow out into the straw. Okay, when you do that forcefully, in fact, try that simulated straw breathing and see what happens to your tummy. Your diaphragmatic breathing kicks in like this. Just try it right now. So it's a very good technique to improve your lung capacity as well. Let's do the 4:7:8 ratio. 4:7:8. What you're going to do, and this is a breathing exercise, very, very effective all across the board, no matter what workout you're doing, no matter what you're doing. So it looks like this. When you breathe in, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. Your breath in should last for 4 seconds. Okay, so you're counting 4. And then you're going to hold that air in your tummy or in your chest for 7 seconds. And then when you breathe out, you're going to breathe out for 8 seconds. Try it. Breathing out for 8 seconds feels like so much. But what we are doing is that we are taking as much air into the lungs as possible. And we are exhaling all the air out. मतलब जो residual air था lung में, वो भी हम लोग बाहर निकाल रहे हैं, so that it cleans out. So it cleans out the lung system, cardiovascular system very, very well. So try that a little bit. 4:7:8. So 4, breathe in. Okay, and then hold your breath for 7 seconds. Okay, and then breathe out. 8 seconds. Try this. This is also excellent to do on a daily basis. So a lot of breathing techniques out there. I wanted you to understand the foundations and the physiology behind it. Make sure that you are looking at being more aware of your breathing patterns starting today.